Before this match even began, before the first serve was struck, before a single point was contested, Eala was already writing something new into the story of Philippine tennis. And then she went and made it unforgettable. There is a reason why the tennis world is talking about this, not just because of who Alex faced, not just because of the stage, but because of how she played, because of the courage inside every decision she made on that court, because somewhere in the middle of one of the most difficult matchups she has ever faced, a young Filipina athlete looked across the net at one of the greatest players of this generation and did not blink. Let that sink in for a moment. Iga Swiatek, multiple Grand Slam champion, former world #1, a force of nature on any surface, in any condition, against any opponent. This is not a player who gets outmaneuvered easily. This is not a player who allows you to dictate the match without a fight. Swiatek is a problem. She has always been a problem. And yet Eala brought a solution. That is the story we are telling today. For Filipino fans following this journey, this moment carries a weight that goes far beyond the score. Filipino supporters around the world understand that when one of their own steps onto a major WTA stage and competes at this level, it is not just sport anymore. It becomes something personal, something national. When Eala walks onto a court against Iga Swiatek, families in Manila gather around screens. Overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East, in Europe, in North America, they find a stream. They find a replay. They find a way to witness it, because this is their story too. Eala did not arrive at this level by accident. She is the product of years of sacrifice, relentless training, early mornings, late nights, tournaments won and tournaments lost, moments of doubt and moments of pure belief. She came through the Rafael Nadal Academy. She developed her craft against some of the brightest young talents in the world. She built her game point by point, match by match. And now, she stands here not as a curiosity, not as a future project, but as a competitive WTA professional capable of going stroke for stroke with the very best. So what exactly was the strategy that made history? This is where it gets fascinating. Against a player like Swiatek, most opponents fall into a familiar trap. They try to match power with power. They try to out-rally a player who can sustain baseline exchanges at a level that very few humans on this planet can match. And when they try that, Swiatek begins to control the tempo, the depth, the spin, and eventually, the match. Eala chose a different path. What stood out was the tactical intelligence behind her shot selection. Instead of engaging in the kind of extended baseline wars where Swiatek thrives, Eala worked to shorten points. She used her serve, one of the most underrated weapons in her arsenal, to set up aggressive first strikes. She attacked the second ball. She looked for the short ball early and moved forward, disrupting the rhythm that Swiatek needs to build her game. There was also something particularly noticeable about Eala's use of angles. Rather than hitting through Swiatek, she was hitting around her, pulling her wide, opening up the court, then redirecting to the opposite side before Swiatek could reset. This is chess, not just tennis. This is a player who has studied her opponent and arrived with a plan, not a hope. Her footwork in the rallies showed sharpness and intention. She was not just reacting. She was positioning herself a step ahead, creating opportunities rather than waiting for them. And in those critical pressure moments, the kind of moments that can define a set, a match, a career, she held herself together. The mental composure she showed in tight situations spoke to a maturity that goes well beyond her years. This is what Filipino fans have been seeing for a long time. They knew this was coming. The world is just beginning to catch up. Of course, we must respect the difficulty of what Alex faced. Swiatek is not a player who simply gives points away. She is relentless in her own right, physically, mentally, tactically. There were moments where the world number challenged back, where she found her rhythm and tested Alex at the deepest level. Any match against Swiatek carries danger in every single game. The fact that Alex navigated those moments, the fact that her strategy held even under that pressure, that is what makes this performance significant. Because here is the truth about facing a champion. It is not enough to have a plan. You have to execute that plan when it is difficult. You have to execute it when you are tired. You have to execute it when the crowd is shifting. when the pressure is building, when one mistake could unravel everything you have worked for. And Eala in this chapter of her story executed. For Philippine tennis, this match represents something bigger than a single result. It is proof that the investment being made in Alex's development is paying off at the highest level. Proof that a Filipina athlete can stand inside the same conversation as the world's elite and belong there. Proof that this is not a story that has already peaked. This is a story that is still rising. The young Filipino athletes who are watching right now, the ones on public courts in Manila, the ones training in Cebu, the ones dreaming in Davao, they are watching a blueprint being drawn for them. They are watching someone who looks like them, who carries the same flag, competing at the level they once only saw in someone else's highlights. Eala is rewriting what is possible. And this is not the end. This is not even the middle. This is the moment where the world starts to pay attention in a different way, where the conversation shifts from promising talent to genuine threat, where the question changes from, can she compete, to how far can she go? History has been made. But for Eala and for Filipino tennis, the best chapters are still being written. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Eala can go even further and make an even bigger statement in the next round? What is your prediction for where this journey leads? Let us hear from you because this community feels every point with her. If you are a Filipino fan, if you are a tennis fan, if you believe in stories worth following like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because whenever Eala makes history, you want to be here for it.